Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was the bolt out of the blue that preemptively re-blew open the possibilities of what the superhero genre for both Marvel and Spider-Man specifically could be before both the 1-2-3 knockout combo of Avengers Endgame being a logical cutoff high point for the conventional spectacle of the genre, Warner Brothers' attempt at offering a full-scale alternative to Marvel in the game going totally tits up, and then COVID making mincemeat of both the last of that and the, let's say, complicated presentation of Marvel's own multiverse-focused Phase 4. In fact, it's almost hard to remember, even with how large the Oscar-winning original still looms as a game-changer even just in the animation genre, that only 1 year before all that fell into place and then to pieces, there was this movie that did legacy heroes and torch passing and multiverse bullshit and combining big epic emotional character-driven melodrama with wild outside-the-box fourth-wall breaking meta-commentary. You know, pretty much everything that the live-action side of the superhero genre has struggled with over these last few years, at times nobly, at other times less so, and did it so perfectly that you almost kind of have to imagine that a lot, if not most of that stumbling has been in reaction to this very film, and trying to measure up to it. So given that, can a sequel, at one point delayed and sing along if you know the tune by the global pandemic and now expanded and divided in twain with a concluding installment Beyond the Spider-Verse hitting next year— I'm sorry, what was that B word? Ah, that's interesting. Ever hope to live up to those heights? Well, of course not, which is why it's for the best that Across the Spider-Verse is very much a true sequel that not only picks up directly from where the last one left off story-wise, but also continues on a new path with the characters going in brand new directions, taking on an entirely new tone and vibe and dozens of new stylistic and visual conceits as it expands its core gimmick of different universe, different animation style, different Spider-Man for one-off character guests to full-blown collage that comes unbelievably close to overkill and even more unbelievably rides the line to instead just right. If it has only one thing in common with its predecessor, it's that neither of them should work at all, and yet they instead both work spectacularly. This is a hell of a good movie. Picking things back up story-wise, 1 year out from our adventure whereby he inherited the mantle of Spider-Man from a deceased Peter Parker, and amid the same set of circumstances discovered a connecting web of alternate universes differentiated by their specific incarnation of Spider-Man, woman, etc., teenage Miles Morales once again encounters a multiversal threat in the form of the Spot, a reimagined low-end Marvel Comics villain whose portal-based powers ends up creating another possible multiverse-shredding event, which this time draws the attention of an entire society of universe-traversing spider-persons dedicated to keeping the timeline in check, organized by Oscar Isaac as the uber-serious Spider-Man 2099, aka Miguel O'Hara, aka Vampire Ninja Spider-Man, who Miles learns has subsequently recruited a few of his allies from the previous adventure, but also, for some reason, specifically has not recruited him. And because Miles' particular reality's entertainment industry did not evidently produce its own native versions of Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, What If, Loki, She-Hulk, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Crisis on Two Earths, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Everything Everywhere All at Once, or even Rick and Morty, it takes him just a beat or two longer than it might take everyone else in the audience to figure out that the powerful secret organization dedicated to dictating what happens in the chronology of past, present, and future events on various timelines must continue to play out according to coldly calculated algorithmic fate, and view his emotion as morality-driven counter-arguments as a liability to that cause might not have his best interests at heart. Which, okay, it's not exactly fair to mark down this movie for the fact that apparently every other project in the genre took one look at the multiverse as a concept and reached the same conclusion, namely, what a great allegory for venting our writers' frustrations about both the audience and the industry, not only constantly demanding that we recycle the same IPs and adaptations over and over again, but also insisting that we adhere to the established canon and having a fucking meltdown when we deviate. So I won't mark it down for that, and fortunately the film doesn't demand that I do. It's too good for that and has other ideas. Namely, a welcome and wise pivot from that already worn trope to another one with a bit more edge, zeroing in instead on the subtext as text spectacle of a 1,000 spider-person army varied enough to include spider-cats, horses, dinosaurs, etc., as being informed by their supposed leader that this specific Spider-Man is maybe possibly a problem somehow because reasons. I mean, I don't know, I guess he's got that exaggerated swagger.
Message!
I mean, did they know 5 years ago when they started that a particularly obnoxious segment of the fandom was going to suddenly take a weird right turn against this particular character in the intervening period, and it would end up hitting a little different and a lot harder in context? Dunno, but it does hit different and it's better for it. And it also allows the whole of it to avoid the problem of too many other stories like this in terms of getting lost in the expanding roster of new characters and visual opportunities to instead stay centered on Miles himself and his own story, so that even when things do hit the home stretch and you start to realize, oh, yeah, right, this is a part 1 of 2, so basically none of this is getting resolved in this one, it's still able to close out on an all-timer. Oh, okay, that's a new swerve for escalation. Not to say that it doesn't feel like there are strong hits at where it all might be headed next time, but you still end up feeling like, wow, this could really go anywhere now, huh? And I mean that in the best possible way. This one is inventive, the animation is stunningly over-the-top brilliant, the returning cast shines, the new cast is terrific, it proves itself as a near equal to the original. It was on balance still probably the best Spider-Man movie, and maybe the best superhero movie ever, so yeah, give this one a 9 out of 10, they did it again. See it for yourself and keep the surprises to yourself.